Feels like these days, everybody's got a podcast, and WVU students are no exception. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'll tell you about it more straight ahead on WVU News. There are over 2.5 million podcasts on the Apple podcasting platform. Of those 2.5 million, around 450,000 of which are active. That roughly boils down to about 18%. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'm on set of one of student media's fastest growing platforms. WVU News starts now. There are currently around 5,000 collegiate esports players. However, recent reports show that only 5% of players, both collegiately and professionally, are women. WVU is helping to break the glass ceiling in one of the sports world's fastest growing sectors. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'll tell you about it more straight ahead on WVU News. I'm Mason Kinsey, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you about the Rocket League team helping to add some diversity to the world of collegiate esports.
When people think of how they consume media, most people's minds normally go straight to TV and video. But recently, the podcasting industry has become a media juggernaut. With the industry set to hit 100 million domestic listeners by next year, the podcasting world can seem overwhelming. But West Virginia University is offering students opportunities all over campus to learn how to develop podcasts of their own. Professor Emily Corio offers a class that teaches some of the basics of podcast development.
Students in my podcasting class learn audio recording and editing, so that can be applied in different ways across our industry. They also learn about interviewing, writing, and delivery.
Learning the basics of podcast development is the first step to creating a successful platform. And while the industry seems intimidating, consistency is the key to success.
There are over 2.5 million podcasts on the Apple podcasting platform. Of those 2.5 million, around 450,000 of which are active. That roughly boils down to about 18%.
One podcast right here in Morgantown. Podcasts like Max Clark's, who explains the appeal of listening to student-run podcasts.
The fact that we're just people, the fact that we're, still students or young means we've got both a lot to learn and we have experienced a ton.
Although the podcasting industry is still relatively new, expected to become a staple in the modern media world. West Virginia University is taking some massive steps in diversity within its esports program by recently creating the first ever all-women's collegiate esports team, WVU Lotus. The team primarily plays Rocket League, a popular online game that sees players take control of vehicles to play soccer with. Team member Kayla Roberts, known online as Hero, shared some of her thoughts on being part of this landmark achievement for the industry.
It feels like really cool to almost be like a part of history, and to have like a full collegiate team, it definitely feels a little weird just because there's no one else and it kind of like a little left out and people kind of underestimate us, but we can definitely keep up with everyone else.
The esports industry is one of the fastest growing sports fields in the country, currently valued at $2 billion and set to reach over $6 billion by 2029. However, where the industry has struggled is gender diversity.
There are currently around 5,000 collegiate esports players. However, recent reports show that only 5% of players, both collegiately and professionally, are women.
When you finally see that those opportunities can exist, then you start to see people get the ball rolling a little more. And I think sometimes it just takes that first one to happen, and you start to see it way more often.
WVU Lotus consists of 3 members and has currently played 4 games, winning 3 of them. They are set to play again this Wednesday.